Good morning, everyone. My name is Anne-Marie Band. Today is Tuesday, July the 18th, and this is the Moneyball Morning Report for the Benzinga Pro platform. Here's what we're looking at. We've got this pressure here from resistance that became support, that became resistance again, and price action pushing up to the north. It is my suspicion that this rally is being driven by people who are using the equities to hedge in a short. And so as we continue to drive upward, we have more buying pressure, and that is just an opinion. I have no way to validate that. What I do realize, however, is whenever we press up, we do come back a bit. Look at how much more shallow this pullback was than this one. So my sensibilities are telling me that we might have ourselves a little bit of a blow off top kind of formation if we get up over the top of 452 or so. We might move directly into 454 and then 457 in the SPY. So that's what we're staring down. All right, today's numbers were, let me even see, hang on 2 secs. Today's numbers were about retail sales month over month, and the market is really treating that as something very sideways, not like a real number that traders want to defend. So we're going to leave the 4-hour chart up to look at because I think there's something going on here that we need to really pay attention to. First of all, we've got higher highs, and every time we hit those higher highs, we get a rejection formation. So the last one was sometime during the course of the day yesterday, and now we're pulling back into a support structure that really looks like 450. Okay, so who's going to come in here first to defend? I think it's the buyers, okay? And so because this is so bullish, we could even come into here and fill the gap, and we'll be right off to the races. All right, so the one thing to be careful about is looking at the real formation. So let's take a look at this. Same thing as with the daily. You look at the current candle and then 2 candles to the left, because it's usually got that price formation in there. Well, I'm going to go 3 candles to the left because of this wick. And what we can see is this candle stopped dead and did not, the close of this candle, and then we bounced higher in the pre-market opening and have lost this formation. So my thought is high, lower high, lower high, lower high, low, higher low, higher low, lower low. And so this is the area that we are combating. My thought again, 450, nice round number. If it collapses, it's going to go through this. And the first thing I like to measure is, well, what's 50% of that motion? And can I see old prices behave as old support, new resistance? And that's what we have, right around here, right? Support, resistance, and then support again, right? But it hasn't really tested this area. So that's legitimate. Pullbacks are buy zones, folks. No doubt about it. The pullbacks are working in this formation, though. So how do you want to trade this? Well, what do we know definitively? This is not a pattern down here. Higher low, higher low, higher low, lower low. But this is a pattern. Lower high, high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Okay, so what do we know? At this juncture, the bounces are giving us sell zones, and the quick strike scalp trade into support. If you're looking for a big move, I'm not really sure we're going to get one today. Okay, let's take a look at the Qs. Again, Qs are doing the same thing, right? High, lower high by a tick, lower high by a tick. Here, higher low, higher low, higher low, lower low. So what are they doing? They're coming in to flesh out these areas. Who's going to be the first guys to say, wait, old resistance, new support? Going to be buyers. Buyers are going to come in there and try to defend the line. Does that mean you can buy? Sure. But what's going to tell you you're wrong? My thought is let them break the ledge, try to pop up. If they hold the pop up, then the ledge at the bottom gives you your stop and you get to engage to the upside. If it's a downside formation, what we do know is the bounces have been bringing sellers. So this area up at 362 is going to be the do or die zone. Either I get up and stay up over this number, or I don't. If I do, buyers are going to try and push into the old high and then get us another new high in the books. Otherwise, they're going to start moving into the old region that was support, and now it might be support again, but we might retest it. So I would look at the halfway mark, which really gives us right around there, 379, right, where all this toppy froth is, and watch for the traders there. Remember, bullish, bullish, bullish. So pullbacks are going to be buy zones. Could they be deep? Yes. Could you say, hey, I'm going to short that deep pullback? Yes. But remember what it looks like. Once you have the line in the sand where they're sitting right now, line in the sand, right about there, you go to a 5-minute chart and you can say, wait a second, that's a line in the sand. If I want to take a long, what do I need to see? Well, I need to see it stop heading lower. That looks like it, but you've got to wait for that candle to close. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. If you don't like waiting for the 5-minute to close, you know what? Wait for the 2-minute to close. Something that tells you, hey, I've stopped heading lower. I breach my resistance, and when I pull back, I make a higher low. Take a look. If you'd done it here and you'd waited, hey, I'm going to wait until this closes. I've got to break resistance or test resistance. There's the resistance test. On my pullback, I've got to hold a higher low. Did it do that? No, you can't take the long. Do you see? That's really as easy as it gets, right? Fails to head lower, tests resistance, pulls back, does not head lower again. Because who's trading? The people who are going to trade in trend and bounces on this tiny little trend are selling zones. So what are they going to do? They're going to get to resistance and they're going to go, wait, old support, new resistance, I'm taking a short. Right? That's what we're looking at. Let's take a look at the ES. We had some really interesting news. A Hong Kong market looks absolutely horrific. And really, it's because of some bond problems in the Chinese residential housing market that's just a train wreck because they're not rebounding. All right, and they have to keep their yuan in check somehow. And to do that, they cannot flood money into their market. So they're in a bit of a pickle. That being said, take a look at the ES. Same thing. What are they doing? They're holding the range. Here's a high that collapsed. Here's another high that collapsed. Here's a higher high that collapsed. What's the storyboard? The highs are collapsing. How do I know that they're collapsing? I can go to that 5-minute and do the same thing. Fails to hold higher, breaks the area of support, bounces, and gives me a lower high. Every time, same thing. Run it in your head over and over again. Easy as pie. You just got to do it over and over again. Okay, so there you have it. Looking at the levels, as we come in, bullish, bullish, bullish. Sellers are here. Lower lows are here, but that's a megaphone. So you can have a higher high and a lower low. So what do you want to do? You know, wait for the pretty picture, right? Wait for it to come in where old support made a new high, came in, brought in a new level of support, or old support that was resistance that becomes support again. That number to me, somewhere around 45.36. Okay, let's take a look at the NQ. Levels, I mean, look at this. Came right into the zone that we had drawn yesterday, still sitting above that region, right? So this thing is still in full-fledged breakout, all right? Could it move higher? Sure. Let's move it up to here. Where is this number? Hello. There we go. All right. 875, right? That's really what we're looking at, but look at what's happening. Resistance, support. Clearly buyers are here until they're not. Clearly sellers are here until they're not. So that's a very tight range. You want to dance in there? No problem at all. Get yourself to a smaller time frame and work it out. Remember, if you're looking for a continuation short, it's got to break and bounce. Now, could the break be fierce and steep? Yes. What do we know about this formation? Pullbacks are going to give us buy zones. If you miss the break for the short, reset, do another reset and say, all right, let me look for that 5-minute lower high, lower low formation that I can jump in and walk it down into these lower levels first. All right, so that's all we got for that thing. Last, we're going to look at oil, because this one, ton of news, and interestingly, very big pop up 2 days ago, because this is news that is already filtered through, right? You got to be in the oil market super specifically to know what's going on, and this is about, Russia saying, hey, listen, we really are going to curb, and so they bought the rumor and sold the news as the numbers came out for cargo oil traveling. All right, so it's buy the rumor, sell the news, but notice, here's our number again, that 74 zone that is so important, buyers are trying to buy it. So this is a 4-hour chart. What have we done? Bounced into resistance, pulled back, tested the low. Our recent bounces are keeping us underneath old support at 74.74. So you might say to yourself, well, I still think it's a long. That's fine and dandy. Wait for this test here. And if you lose 73.93, then you've legitimately got about 15 cents of a stop. And then you go bye-bye, okay? Because it could easily drift back down into the sideways pressure event, because we do have things slowing on the backdrop, all right? And, election year, people are going to want this to be down so inflation can keep in check. Tinfoil hat, but that's what it is, all right? Good luck trading today, everyone. Keep alert.